the interest rate and aggregate demand, the IS curve. So now what we have done and gone ahead is that we have understood what is the investment function. But we have to also go ahead and, kind of replace this investment function in our AD equation. Till now, we know that our AD equation is C plus I plus G plus NX. But we were taking investment as always autonomous. Now I want to change this, and I actually want to write investment as I bar minus BI in order to kind of show that investment is a function of interest rate. At the same time, because investment becomes a function of interest rate, an inverse function though, we understand that aggregate demand also indirectly becomes a function of the interest rate. So that is something that we are going to go ahead and do now. To do that, what do? I say AD is equal to C bar plus C disposable income YD plus I bar minus BI plus G plus NX. Disposable income is income minus taxes. I'm not taking transfers into account for now. Minus, plus I bar minus BI plus G plus NX. This would be C bar plus C 1 minus TY plus I bar minus BI plus G plus NX. Now also my NX is autonomous, G is autonomous, I bar is autonomous, C bar is autonomous. So I can bring all of these things together and I can say that this becomes my A bar plus C 1 minus TY minus BI. And at equilibrium, aggregate demand should be equal to the amount of planned output. So demand and output should be the same. So I equate this to Y at equilibrium. And once I equate this to Y, what do I get? I get 1 minus C, 1 minus T, Y. I'm bringing this thing on the left side. So I get this part is equal to A bar minus BI. So I get Y is equal to A bar minus BI upon 1 minus C, 1 minus T. So what have I got from here? Earlier, my Y used to be A bar upon 1 minus C, 1 minus T. Now, when I have introduced interest rates in the formula, my equilibrium Y is A bar minus BI upon 1 minus C, 1 minus T. This implies that as my interest rate will increase, equilibrium level of output will decrease. And this is making sense, absolute sense. Why? Why is this making sense? Because I understand that, my interest rate, when this increases, investment decreases. And when investment decreases, automatically AD is decreasing because one component of AD is decreasing. So therefore, I understand from this equation that there is an inverse relationship between Y star and I. Income or output and interest rate are inversely related to each other. So let's go back and check. So, this is my equation that I get for AD. AD equation now has a component of interest rate in it. And now we understand that as interest rate increases, aggregate demand decreases. They are negatively related with each other. We also understand that at any given level of interest rate, if I don't change interest rate at all, then we can go ahead and determine the equilibrium level of income and output. And as I will change, then my equilibrium will also change. Again, I'm coming from the same formula. As I will change, my equilibrium Y will also change. As long as I is constant, I can determine my equilibrium value of Y by equating AD to Y. So this was my entire AD equation. I equated this to Y to get Y star, equilibrium value of Y. Now, this can be shown diagrammatically also. And how do I show this diagrammatically? Very simple. This is my AD function. This is my 45-degree line. This is Y is equal to AD line. This is my aggregate demand. The only difference is that aggregate demand is now A bar minus BI plus whatever. So, your aggregate demand, actually not plus whatever. This is just, my aggregate demand curve. So, if you notice here, plus C1 minus YT, if you're not equating, plus C1 minus T into Y. This is what my equation of AD was, right? Just go above and check. This is my aggregate demand equation, which at equilibrium was equated to output. So aggregate demand was A bar minus BI plus C1 minus T into Y. If there was no interest rate, then my aggregate demand was this. When I was not having interest rate till now, in last chapter, whenever I solved, I was getting this. But it's just that now my aggregate demand equation is this. This is my equilibrium level of output. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw another curve. And this curve right here is going to be in my IY plane. So, I need to draw another curve, which is going to be in my IY plane. And I'm saying as long as interest rate is certain level, maybe I1, then the equilibrium level of output that you're getting is Y star. Maybe I can name this as Y1 star. Now, suppose I tell you, suppose that interest rate increases. If interest rate increases, investment decreases. We know this, investment will decrease. If investment decreases, aggregate demand also decreases because AD is C plus I. So if I reduces, AD also reduces. So if aggregate demand reduces, my aggregate demand curve will shift backward. It will go to AD dash. If that happens, this will be my new level of output, Y2 star. My equilibrium output will also decrease. If that happens, then, I can place Y2 star somewhere here. Output has decreased. Why did output decrease? Because interest rate increased. And I can mark this here. And this point. And if I join this curve, then this gives me my IS curve. So IS curve shows what? It is showing, see, if interest rate is this much, then this is the equilibrium level of output. So, it is showing combination of interest rate and equilibrium output. This is also equilibrium output because here also in the background, the goods market is in equilibrium at this point. My actual demand is equal to output produced. It is going ahead and intersecting the 45-degree line. So even this is equilibrium level of output. So all points on the IS curve actually represent equilibrium level of output for different interest rates, such that in the background, the goods market is in equilibrium. So let's read through this and let's see what has happened. Now, what is happening is the following. I am holding my interest rate constant at I1. So this is my intercept. My intercept is when Y is 0. So I just, in my equation right here, so I know that my AD was A bar plus C1 minus T, Y minus BI. When I put y equal to 0, what is my aggregate demand? A bar minus bi, right? So this is my intercept. This notice here. This is my intercept. Suppose I is equal to I1. Then intercept will be A bar minus bi1. So this is my intercept. This is my 45-degree line. And wherever the intercept is meeting the 45-degree line, that is my point of equilibrium. So this is my equilibrium. I am just taking this equilibrium down and I'm saying this is my equilibrium level of income, Y1. And this is for the interest rate, I1. Now I am saying, suppose interest rate decreases to I2. So interest rate is decreasing to I2. If interest rate decreases, then investment increases, then aggregate demand also increases. So aggregate demand shifts upwards. Also, the intercept will be higher, right? So supposedly interest rate decreases, then you're subtracting interest rate. You're subtracting a lower amount. So intercept is increasing. So as interest rate decreases, investment increases because AD is C plus I plus whatever. As investment increases, aggregate demand also increases and it shifts upwards. When it shifts upwards, the equilibrium level of new income level is this. So this becomes my new equilibrium Y2. I can take this equilibrium down and I can say this is my equilibrium level for this interest rate. I join these 2 points together and I get my IS curve. So, you plot the pair I1, Y1 in this diagram. And then you plot the pair I2, Y2. You join those and you get the IS curve. So combination of I and Y such that the goods market clears, that is called the IS curve. What was the name of the previous chapter that we were studying? Income spending. How much is your income? How much are you spending? How much is the output? How much is the consumption? In a way, in the background, isn't the IS curve doing exactly same? How much are you demanding? How much is being produced? So the IS curve actually stands for the investment savings curve. It is that, it is showing those equilibrium where investment is equal to savings, which indirectly means that the goods market is clearing. All those combinations of interest rates and output such that the goods market clears. This is the derivation of the IS curve.